Welcome back to the Reclaimed Ranch. My name is Tara, and today I just have some random things I'm trying to finish up. I have these extra eggs that I bought from Walmart last year when they went on sale after Easter, and we're going to do some decoupage. So I have these really cute napkins that a friend of mine gave me, and they are 2-ply, so you want to make sure to get both of the white sheets off if it says 2-ply. Otherwise, you'll just be decoupaging the white part and not your decorative napkin. So after I get those off, I'm just going to tear them into little pieces, and then I'm going to be using Mod Podge to decoupage these on, just the matte version. And then I usually do a pretty thin coat so it doesn't get super wet and sticky. I found that if I get too much Mod Podge on there, then it sticks to my hands, which sticks to the napkin, and then I end up pulling them off. So it's just kind of this is definitely a messy craft to do, but they're so pretty when I'm done. So I'm just going to go ahead and lay it down. I'm not going to put the top coat on just yet because I want to use my glitter to coat it. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of use my paintbrush to get the edges down, make sure it's all nice and flat as I can, get those wrinkles out. Of course, you're not going to get all of them out, but get as much as you can and cover the entire egg. And then I will go back over with a 1 coat of Mod Podge over the entire egg, and then I'll stick it in my little glitter bin there, roll it around, and then leave it out to dry. So this glitter I got from Michael's. It's a white glitter that does not have the opal essence color to it. I just wanted it to look like sugar on the egg, so I wanted it to make sure that it was completely white. So here's my egg, and then we're going to go ahead with that final coat of Mod Podge here, and then I'll put it in the glitter. You don't have to do glitter. I know a lot of people hate glitter because of the mess that it creates, and it stays around for quite a while. So you have to do it in a special spot pretty much. But I just think it puts just that extra oomph on these eggs. This is a cute little napkin with the bunnies on it in pink. So I think I did 5 different napkins. I just did 6 eggs total for each little display, and then we'll sell them in like little half dozens. And this is the type of project that's great for if you're watching a show. You can just kind of sit back, relax, enjoy your show while you're getting some things done, which is exactly what I was doing. So if you see me pause, it's probably because I'm looking at the TV. And I want to apologize. Apparently this video I wasn't paying attention where the camera was angled, and a lot of it is going to be down in that lower left corner as I'm seeing right now. So again, I apologize. It should have been a little more center. So I'll make note of that for next time. And I'm just going to show you a couple of eggs since it's just the same concept over and over again. Once you get your decoupage all on there, you want to put your final coat of Mod Podge, roll it around your glitter, and then let it sit to dry. See how pretty that is? Just puts that extra little shimmer onto it. And this next project we have, I got this wreath at the Goodwill bins in my last haul, and I have a lot of florals in my stash that I need to get out, and this year seems to be kind of like a sunflower theme for me. So we're going to go ahead and make a wreath for a door or anywhere inside, actually, with some sunflowers. And I've had these sunflowers for so long, I really don't know where I got them. I'm sure that I thrifted them because I never hardly ever buy retail flowers, even if they go on sale for like 40 or 50% off, because it's just crazy to me how much they are. So I just try and thrift them. And I'm just going to put some random little picks in and greenery. Got some eucalyptus that I got at the Goodwill bins, a big old bag of it. So always be looking when you're at the bins, if you have one, if you go, for like crafting items, because there's a lot of stuff in there that's still brand new most of the time that you can just pick up for real cheap and keep in your stash for later use. And I love playing with florals. I'm no expert at it by any means, but I just love all the different textures and colors and what it can bring when you know, put each item next to it, how it complements each other. And it's just fun. I think being a floralist would be a great job. I love these grapevine wreaths because a lot of times you don't have to hot glue or even use floral wire to get them to stay. It just, you poke them in and kind of weave them around and it's good to go. And then you can always use it year round. You can, you know, change out your flowers for fall and Christmas and what have you. So that's why I love these wreaths, instead of like the foam wreath or metal wire one. Because I'm not a huge ribbon fan. I used to be, so I have a huge stash of it, but for some reason my taste has changed and I'm more into the natural organic look. So that's why I like the wooden tone of it. So I don't know if you guys have followed me for very long, but in this, or this little clock here, in one of my outlet bin hauls, I found this and I knew it was broken. So I had said that I wanted to put a little nest in there. So what I'm doing is I'm just disassembling all of the mechanical parts and I'm just going to cut the wires off of that, pull the front out, and it came apart pretty easy. And then I'm going to go ahead and there's a one part right here that's like broken. So I'm going to use my Star Bond glue with the accelerator. I love this stuff and I have it listed in the link below. This stuff is so nice. It works within like 15 seconds because of that accelerator. So it's kind of like a super glue, but super strong. And then when you put the accelerator on there, you only have to hold it for about 15 seconds and then it's done. So I use it a lot of times to even like in tables or chairs, I'll use it to put in the cracks and seal it up. And then it acts as a kind of a bonding agent. And then I'm going to just take my little finger sander. This is also listed in the link below. Love this little thing. Going to just kind of rough up the surface a little bit since it's so shiny. And that's just going to help my fusion paint to adhere a little bit better. And then after I sand it all down, we're going to just wipe it off. And then we'll get to painting. Do you guys have any other ideas of what you could do with something like this? I know I did one earlier in the year where I had the clock actually working and then I did molds around the sides and stuff and painted that. So that was kind of fun. But yeah, if you have any ideas, put them in the comments below and if I find another one, I can try it out. It would be fun. And so I'm going to use the color Renfrew Blue from Fusion. And this is just a really pretty teal blue color and perfect for spring. So what we're going to do is we're going to give it 2 good coats, let them dry in between, and then I'm going to put one of my new transfers that I got from Redesign. We're going to put it up and over the top, a couple in the front, and then we'll build our nest. This is the Transfer Floral Collection, and it's gorgeous, gorgeous flowers. Love this. I was having a hard time choosing which ones to put on there. Just like any transfer, if you've never used one, it comes with a white backing. So you'll take that backing off. You'll kind of hover over where you want to put it, and when you put it down you want to commit, because a lot of times if you pull it back up it'll have some of the transfer on your project. So once you commit, then you take your little tool that it comes with and you rub it down. Sorry about my head being in the way. You rub it down and keep going. I always put my finger kind of behind it, pull on the vellum. That helps it release. And then if you have a problem area where it wants to just stick to the vellum and not on your project, you just place that vellum back down and work that area a little bit longer, and eventually it'll release onto your project. And then I always burnish it, kind of push in the transfer into the project with the vellum paper, and that helps with the adhesion of it. And then I use my little heat gun just for a couple seconds on it, just to kind of, you can sort of see the halo outline, so sometimes using the heat gun will help get rid of that a little bit, but on these darker colors it's hard to get rid of it completely. So I'm just going to do this transfer on this other side, and I have a couple more I want to put on, so I'll let you enjoy some music while that goes. Now the Fusion paint has its own sealer in it, but because I put the transfer on there, I'm going to go ahead in with my Fusion clear wax, and I'm going to seal that transfer in with wax. Reason I'm using wax is it's because it's more of a matte finish, a dull finish. It's less strokes that you can see because you can buff it out. If I were to use a top coat, you might be able to see some of those paint strokes, and I wanted to minimize that. So I think I got this moss pack again at the Goodwill bins. It's my go-to for craft, I tell you. And I just hot glue it into place, kind of make a little nest inside. I've had these little eggs for years and years and years, so honestly don't know where I got them. Probably at a thrift store though. And I'm just going to hot glue a few eggs in there. That one got away from me. And then we're going to go ahead and put a little bird in there. And Hobby Lobby always has good sales at the end of like spring or summer or whatever. So I got these little birds for like 50 cents at the end of last year. And they just come in handy for little projects like this. So I thought that was pretty cute. I'm going to just let that sit in there and dry. And there we have a cute little birdie in his nest. Now this last project, this is my decoupage paper that I just got recently, and I absolutely love this image here. So I wanted to use it for Easter. And I've had, again, that board I've had in my stash for who knows how long. So we're going to go ahead and decoupage this guy onto the board. And what I'm doing is, because it's rice paper, I love the organic ripping look. So I'm going to go ahead and just wet it down, and that makes it super easy to tear apart. And that way I can get that edge not to be so straight and mechanical looking. And then once we get that done, I'm going to go ahead and paint the back of this decoupage white so that we can get that image to pop really well without having to paint the board. And I'm going to use DIY's White Swan to do that. Now, something did happen, and I'll show you how I fixed it. When I got to painting, I apparently painted my edging and it ended up getting onto the front, which was kind of a bummer, but you know, you can always end up fixing everything. So I'll show you how I fix that in just a second. But we're gonna go ahead and paint just one coat on the back of this, and then I'm gonna use my heat gun to dry it. So here you can see where it got on the front there. It was kind of a big blob. But I went ahead and dried it and then used my napkin, or my baby wipe, sorry, to get most of the paint off. You got to be real careful though when you're wiping rice paper, because it'll just rip the paper a little bit, and because it's so fibrous. But I mean, from here it doesn't look too bad, but where I was at, it was bothering me quite a bit. So I'm using my Fusion's Decoupage and Transfer Gel to adhere this to the board. And I always go in sections. I start at the top and then kind of work my way down. And that really minimizes getting those bubbles and wrinkles out. And then once I have that down, I'm going to go ahead and use my heat gun to dry it. And that's going to really help flatten that paper down to the board. So we're going to go ahead and put one coat of the transfer gel over the top, the entire thing. And then of course I use my heat gun to speed it up, but let that dry. And then I'm going to use the color chocolate from my Fusion paint, and we're going to blend in the paper to the board. So I take like a chippy brush at first and just kind of, I'm not going for full coverage. I want it to be rustic. Just kind of put it around the edges, get a feel for it, see what it looks like. And you can see the fibers from the paper where I ripped it. It's kind of pretty white. So I want to make sure that those are covered and distressed in that color. And the thing I love about doing the transfer gel over the top and letting it dry is, you saw me there with the baby wipe. I had made a couple of marks that I didn't like, and I was able to wipe it off immediately. So that's kind of a nice thing, is if you do make a mistake and you don't want, or you have too much paint on the image itself, the transfer gel is like a top coat, so it's going to allow you to cover up your mistakes or get rid of them if you work quickly. So I'm just kind of taking my time, blending in those corners, trying to get that spot to look more natural by the cross. So I have to kind of go in a little bit further than I normally would have on this image to blend it, but I think it turned out still pretty good, pretty decent. And then I'm just going to work around the edges of the frame in that chocolate color, and I think it just turned out so pretty. Okay, so that's about where I ended, and I'm going to just hit it with the heat gun real quick just to dry most of it. And here are the projects. I hope you liked everything today. Let me know what was your favorite. And I don't know. I think the little bird nest is my favorite out of these, although I do like the wreath. So anyway, hope you all have a great weekend. We've got some great weather this weekend, so I'm looking forward to getting outside and doing some yard work and doing some furniture sanding out in the sun. So we will see you on next Tuesday with another round of probably thrift flips, and I am going to go get the new IOD release stuff today, so I'm super excited. Take care. Bye.